Today we're going to talk about design. And I'm sure you're thinking to yourself, why are we talking about design in a set of videos that are based on getting better at things in business, life, and sales? Well, we can design for positive outcomes. How can we design for positive outcomes? Well, think of your Covey. Go back to Stephen Covey and the 7 Habits. Begin with the end in mind. I think a great illustration, and this is a game that I've recently picked up again. I've recently picked up playing golf. And if you've ever played golf, most people will play golf from tee to green. Yes, I know you start at the tee, and ideally you end up at the green. As you get better at golf, you realize that the strategy of the game is actually played from green to tee. One of the things we can do when thinking about design is working backwards. So let's work backward when we think about this. Let's think about customer success or customer experience. What does customer success or customer experience look like? How do we get to the point where they're shouting from the rooftops talking about your product or your service? Well, first, you've got to deliver that product or service inside the organization effectively across the organization and make a positive impact. Well, in order to make a positive impact, you've got to launch the service. Well, in order to launch the service, you've got to start the service. In order to start the service, you've got to create a contract. You've got to have a contract in place. In order to get that contract in place, you probably have to deliver a proposal. In order to deliver the proposal, you probably have to go through some discussion around understanding of what's important to the customer and why that's important to the customer, and help them navigate their buying process. There are all of these steps. But my point is we're designing backward from the success point and then putting ourselves in a position where we can be successful as we start to move forward. Tomorrow's session will be all about execution. Today, the focus is design. When you look at each of the things that you're working on, identify patterns. See if you can design systems to support proper execution when thinking about those patterns or when working toward those patterns. One of my favorite books on design thinking is The Design of Everyday Things. It has some awesome information in there about beginning with the end in mind, working your way backward, and then testing things going forward. Tomorrow we'll talk about execution. Thanks.